Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Phoenix Podcast. My name is Andrew.
I'm Tiffany Pfeiffer.
And I'm Savannah Gaps. Today we're going to be talking all about Dasani water theory along with the multiverse.
We also have a special guest today, Corena.
Yeah.
Hi.
Woo.
The funny thing is that everyone's going to be watching my video, so when you point over like this, you're pointing at the wall. She's below me. Okay, so what are we going to start with? Let's just start the multiverse. Okay? So the funny thing about this is, which one are we going to start with? Science or superhero?
Start with the superhero one because I know less about that.
Okay, so, looks like Savannah. Oh, that's great. So, it's going up to a great start.
So the superhero one, there's like two types to it. Like there's the Marvel version and then there's the DC version, which I personally don't know too much about the DC version.
I guess that's where I'm going to be filling in. So, let's get started with the Marvel, since most people know the Marvel Universe, or the MCU. Yes. Yeah, we're just gonna pretend like that did not happen. I do not know why it says that happened, but okay. So, first things first. Of course, you have Earth 1. In the Marvel Universe, that's pretty much where all your original superheroes are. Like your very first, that's Iron Man, all the
Captain
Avengers,
America,
just all the Avengers.
Oh, geez.
Spider-Man.
Before they killed them all off.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very fun. So, of course, you have all the Marvel characters, and as you keep on going, so characters like Doctor Strange, mostly Doctor Strange in the comics, Thor, who else? So many people. And then a few other people actually travel through the multiverse.
Like Captain Marvel, she
does
hopping
too,
from planet to planet.
Well, there's a difference between universe and planet. But I think she also does too. I'm not completely sure. I haven't read the comics in a while. I do know for certain, like when their Captain America picked up Thor's hammer, that actually happened in another universe, and there was actually a few other universes that other people picked it up. For example, I think that Black Widow picked up Thor's hammer. I think it was Black Widow. It was between Black Widow, Hawkeye. No, it wasn't Hawkeye. This is why I need to refresh myself on my comics. But I know for certain Black Widow picked up Thor's hammer. But
I'm disappointed in you, Andrew.
I'm
You
sorry.
know everything.
I do not know everything. Like, I don't know why I can't just sleep tonight.
All right. Well, hey, Corena. So, I'm sure you guys know, this is our first guest. So we might do a little introduction. Oh, fun Q&A thing.
Q&A?
So,
yes. And I guess I'm going to have to wait on my Q&A.
Yeah.
I remember the first question was, what are some of your personality traits?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm somewhere between like an extrovert and introvert, so I'm not really either one. I like people to an extent, but I enjoy my personal space. My favorite pastime is bullying Andrew.
Wait, I thought it was bullying Katie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's another friend of ours.
It's my favorite hobby. And just knowing that I have a purpose, like every day, to just go and torment Andrew, it really keeps me going every day.
Phenomenal. All right, so here's a big question. There's a really big question that I have to ask you. Who is your favorite Disney princess?
Personally, I like DreamWorks better. So, so kind of unpopular, but if you've ever seen the movie Anastasia, that's my favorite, like, DreamWorks princess.
I've
Oh.
heard of it.
And Anna would probably cry if I said her face.
That's well, you know, if she watches the video, then that's gonna be very sad.
All right.
If I had
Here's.
to pick a princess, it would be Mulan.
Oh.
Oh yes, yes, I agree with that.
All right. So Marvel or DC?
Well, I am not big into comics, but I think I know more Marvel superheroes than DC.
Nice.
Which is probably true for everyone.
Yeah, I think more people know Marvel.
I agree.
Actually, so I grew up knowing a lot more about DC before Marvel because
So does.
I grew up with my mom and Superman was her favorite superhero. So everything I dealt with as a child was DC until my dad pulled out Spider-Man and stuff. And it's like, goodbye, Mom.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that most DC films were more PG-13 because I haven't seen a DC movie that's rated R yet. But then, of course, you have Marvel that fluctuates between all of them. So, like Deadpool, you have rated R. You had the Avengers, PG-13. I don't know any PG movies from Marvel, but so you have that ranking there. But DC is where it stands on standard, and of course they go to like a very close rated R, but they're not there yet. So I would say I would grow more on Marvel, like I was saying, but I did do a lot of DC, just because my family loves DC, and my mom's favorite character is Batman.
Nice.
So,
Yeah,
Captain
I
America's
think
better.
Marvel was what I grew up on. A lot of Iron Man movies,
oh yeah,
Captain America movies,
especially
and
since they were just
Avengers.
coming out.
Yeah, they were just coming out like around 10 or 12, around that area. So I was definitely a bigger Marvel fan, but now that I've started reading comic books,
Oh yes.
DC's comic book game, a lot better than Marvel. I hate to say it, but it's true.
You also.
Yeah, I
What is your
heard.
favorite so far? Deadpool and Marvel?
No, Nightwing. Nightwing's really good.
No, I said Marvel.
Oh, Marvel. Oh,
Because
I don't
Deadpool's not
really.
DC.
Yeah, Nightwing for DC, is probably my favorite, but yeah, I would say Deadpool for Marvel, because like some of them are hilarious. Like there's one that actually like deals with multiverse, and it's Deadpool kills Deadpool, and it's literally just all about him killing himself from different multiverses and different universes, and it's mind blowing. It's hilarious.
Funniest story is in one version, technically Deadpool can't die because Thanos made him immortal. So one of his superpowers is being immortal.
Wait. Thanos made him immortal?
Yeah. He stole, I think it was Thanos stole, or no, Deadpool got Death's favor, and Thanos did not like that. So, and the funny thing is that Deadpool at that time wanted to just kill himself.
Interesting.
Or it's the other way back around. No, that's totally wrong. I think Thanos killed Deadpool and then Death made him immortal. It's one of the two. Technically, Thanos did make him immortal because he did kill him, but this is where I need a refresh.
So Corena, all right, last question. What pets or plants do you have?
Well, I have a lot of animals. I have 3 dogs, a cat, 2 lizards, and 2 pigs.
What kind of pigs?
Pigs.
Pigs. Oh.
Sorry, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Okay, I just like imitated
Pot-belly
sound that. I
pigs?
didn't mean
Oh,
to.
yes.
That's so
Those
cute.
are adorable.
Okay, and I just have a personal question. What is your favorite Marvel character? Since we're just talking about the universe, what's your favorite Marvel character? What's your favorite DC character? Just all around. Everyone.
And I don't know a lot of them, and I also don't know which ones go to which, but I think my favorite Marvel one is Spider-Man, because I think it's the only movie I've ever seen. And then for DC, maybe Batman.
Yeah, okay. And which Spider-Man do you like? The new Tom Holland one? Homecoming, Far From Home?
Tom Holland one, yeah.
Yes. Tom Holland for the win.
No, Andrew Garfield. I love Andrew
Okay.
Garfield.
So I really
So-
can't speak on this.
Yeah, fair enough. Tiffany?
All right, so Marvel, it's a fight between Captain America and Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man because he's it's easier to relate to him because he's closer to our age group. In general, like even in the comics and stuff, he's around 15, 16 years old, so it's easier to relate to him in that way. And DC, I would say Batman. I like his sarcasm. Darn it, I said the same thing as you, Corena. I'm sorry.
Savannah.
Okay, so favorite Marvel character, 100% Black Widow. Although she got killed off, so that's so nice.
Hey, they're doing a
Yeah.
prequel.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I don't know. I just grew up like with Black Widow being like pretty much the only female like in the Avengers team.
That's true.
So it was just kind of like, like it was
Yeah.
it was cool to see her like evolve in like her job with that. And then DC. So I've recently gotten into DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh yes.
That is pretty cool. There's a lot of different characters, and
You are very welcome.
really know them all. Andrew was the one who introduced me to that, so that was cool.
I love all DC TV shows.
My favorite character is off of that TV show, and it is
Sarah Lance.
No, surprisingly not. Yeah, although she's like captain, like boss kind of girl. My favorite is this really big guy. Like, he's really built, and he loves fire.
Heatwave.
Heatwave. Yeah, so that's
he's awesome.
He's
and
really
also,
funny.
if y'all want to watch some good TV, DC shows, go to Netflix, search up Flash, Arrow, Supergirl. I'm not really into Supergirl as much. It's really good though. And DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
And I know probably y'all have heard of Flash, but go check out the others. They all tie in very well.
Okay, I will admit DC is really good at doing like the TV show type series of shows with superheroes.
I wish Marvel would do it. Like, I wish they would come out with TV shows like that.
This is
Marvel,
all of it is good.
Marvel has some, but they're not as good.
But when you think about it, Marvel, they stay on track. They have a plan set out. They all try to make it all the same. DC, they just give someone say, oh, I want you to write a movie on Batman versus Superman. And the directors take it away. It could be totally different directors. And that's how sort of it fits together. That's what I like about DC. And also, they're also trying to tie in. So, like, the Flash TV show, like all the TV shows, they're trying to infiltrate, like, the multiverse, as you could probably already tell. But you have, like, the Flash TV show, and then now you have the Justice League Flash. So they're trying to tie in multiverse between those two Flashes. So, and before I go on a spit, my favorite Marvel character has to be Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange, hands down.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Doctor Strange is really good.
DC. It's between two people. I would have to say, Green Arrow had a great backstory, just the comics and the TV show. So really, he's awesome. And Constantine, I love John Constantine. Awesome person. If y'all want a little backstory on the CWC, which is free to download, you have a little TV show of Constantine, and he's also in Arrow.
Nice. All right. So let's. Okay, so we have two topics today: Dasani water and also the multiverse theory. So I know we've kind of touched on that a bit so far. So Corena, you want to kick it off with the multiverse theory, like applied, kind of like the real world theory, not just like within Marvel or DC?
Yeah, so it's really complicated, so I'm going to try and dumb it down as much as I possibly can. It has a lot to do with quantum mechanics, so I'm not going to get super into that. I'm just going to try to explain the theory just in general. So the theory of the multiverse is kind of dependent on three things, which is the theory of inflation, dark energy, and the string theory.
Lyle, stop. Sorry.
Let's go ahead and mute her for a second. No, just kidding.
So inflation, you all know about the Big Bang Theory, right? The theory that a few atoms were blown up, and that's what created our universe. So the theory of inflation supports that and pretty much states that it could blow one atom up into an entire universe, which would create this massive amount of heat, radiation, and everything. And the theory of the multiverse would be that that happens over and over again all around us in the space that is left filled open after that happens. So that would mean that, like, our universe exists and it's kind of like a bubble. And then outside of that, there are multiple big bangs happening all around that bubble that are creating new universes. And so that's the complex sciencey theory. But then if you're wanting more of like the parallel universe, like the psychology stuff, that would be more like, if you think of it like a deck of cards. So you deal hands, right? You play a couple times, the likelihood of you repeating the same deal is very unlikely. But after you do it an infinite number of times, that same deck that you dealt the first time is, certain to repeat itself. So since matter is kind of limited as to the properties it can take on, that would mean that our universe is destined to repeat itself once more if this theory is true. So that would mean that a parallel universe would be created in the sense that everything is either exactly like we are right now, or it is so close, just with very slight differences. And that's where parallel universes come into play. And that's the general break.
So you're saying theoretically you could have another universe where we are doing the exact same thing, but we get we pretty much move one step the wrong way and we get a totally different job or a totally different life.
Right. It would be like you are deciding between Burger King and Wendy's, and in one universe you decide Wendy's, and in the other you decide Burger King, and so it's just very slight differences.
Okay, that could pretty much affect
really
your whole life.
Right. Yeah. It's like very small differences that are like drastically changing the universe. And that also kind of brings in the Mandela effect of like, we remember some things being one way, but then they end up actually not being that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like something that people like just, everybody remembers it a certain way and it's just different, would be because in that split universe, something converged, and so two parallel universes collided. And it's really hard to explain that because it's not necessarily a scientific theory because it can't be actually looked at and studied. So that's why it remains a conspiracy theory, because we can't prove it.
That's really cool.
Why does that keep happening?
What?
Okay, so it said that I muted you, and then now it says that I muted Tiffany.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay. Next is Corena. So that sort of ties in very well to the actual multiverse in the comics and stuff, except with all the scientific stuff, because of course they don't want a comic about scientific stuff. But
I can talk about.
Well, kind of they do. They do kind of make comics about scientific stuff.
But
it's
you
just
know what I mean.
They add, because a lot of these sci-fi fiction comics are about like these theories and stuff. Like science fiction came from theories in general.
So I read a lot of DC comics, and I like reading their comic books a lot. So I can speak on the multiverse theory a good bit there. They have a very unique way of doing it, I guess. Like it's like the general like slight differences, but instead of it being specifically about like, like whether you went to Wendy's or Burger King or not, it's more like the slight genetic differences, like Deadpool, like this is a Marvel thing, but like Deadpool kills Deadpool, that's literally Deadpool killing himself because there's this whole thing about there's so many different Deadpools and they're all slightly different. Like there's a bunny, that's a Deadpool. There's a turtle, that's a Deadpool. And
yep. It's sort of like the Spider-Verse Netflix.
Oh yeah, the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Because there was like a anime version of Spider-Man. There was a pig Spider-Man. There was like
Detective Spider-Man.
All these kinds of
female version, yeah.
Which is Spider-Gwen, which has actually become very popular because of that movie. Because we have
she's actually really cool.
And I remember hearing I remember that being one of the more popular women comic books in Marvel during when it came out. So I'm not surprised, but
Yeah.
it's because I see what you mean, Tiffany, by there's not being like there being a lot of scientific and stuff. Like a few examples, Hulk and stuff, but I'm just saying they don't be like, oh, let's see how to make a new Hulk. Let's expose him to a lot of gamma radiation in this very scientific chair in
Well,
this scientific lab and stuff. They just say like the gist of everything. And they don't like explain everything in high definition detail. But I understand what you're getting at.
Like the psychological changes or like the
Yeah.
very slight differences, but not the quantum mechanics part of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Deadpool Kills Deadpool by Marvel, it was very like, we're not gonna explain to you that we're in the multiverse. You're just gonna know it because there's gonna be a ton of different versions of Deadpool all on several different planets. They jumped around quite a bit. So that was interesting. So yeah.
So
I think when you compare the like real life version like of the theory compared to like DC and Marvel's versions of it,
sort of
they have
close.
very big differences, but also they are similar, I would say.
Though I remember during when you used to watch, or you probably still watch it, watch the DC Legends of Tomorrow, and like watching parts of those episodes with you guys, I've seen where they explain it like, oh my gosh, we're in a different multiverse. Oh my gosh, look, I wasn't wearing the shirt like before everything happened. Now I'm wearing a Captain America shirt or whatever shirt he was wearing. We're in a different multiverse. We're in a different universe.
The funny thing about that is DC's Legends more actually focuses on time travel, not the multiverse.
But they do have some multiverse things in it. This one guy, he happened to die. I know it's kind of like, I'm not gonna say who. I'm not gonna say who because I don't want anybody I don't want to spoil for anybody. But so this one guy dies, right? And the whole team's like really sad about it. Okay, like a season later, they deal with the multiverse, and somehow that guy appears again.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yes, and he's appearing again, and they're like, "What the heck?" He's like, "I'm not that guy. I'm from a different universe, you know." And he's gay. So it's like those kind of slight differences.
So the funny thing about all that is that all ties back into Flash. So like what she was saying was there's actually premieres like Crisis on Infinite Earths, Earth X, stuff like that. That all ties back into Flash, which if you watch that you'll understand a little more. But pretty much of course you have Flash who runs so fast. He pretty much broke. Like if you want to like scientific based on that, you can go to him because there's a lot of geeks in there. I enjoy how they made it, but he pretty much runs so fast that he can break through the universe to where he can go to different universes. But the funny
everything broke.
The funny thing with that is comes with the dangers of pulling them out for too long and stuff like that. So it's very weird. Just that at least.
Yeah, it was. There literally was like several episodes of like going back in time and also dealing with the multiverse and fixing everything that Flash like undid, and he like felt guilty about it. But I was like, that's
Flashpoint.
Yeah, Flashpoint. So
like that's something else. Like Flashpoint, you change one slight difference in time. That sort of ties in with the multiverse. You change one slight thing. Like what happened is someone had a baby, pretty much, and Flash created Flashpoint. Turns out when he reset everything, instead of having a boy, he actually had a girl. So subtle changes like that can just happen. And that's sort of what ties into the multiverse. So I think they're making so many things try to fit into that it's literally loops and then loops, and it's like all turning into an infinity sign. So it's like this connects to that, but then that connects to this. So it's like a puzzle piece sort of thing, which I find very interesting. I explained that way too complicated, but still. So, y'all want to talk more about the multiverse, or do you want to get into Dasani? Sounded very
Are
weird.
you guys ready to?
I know you had
really
notes,
want-
Corena. Is there anything else we haven't touched on with that you've put notes on, wrote notes on?
Okay, well, I have some interesting stuff that I learned that if you guys are interested, I could share with you.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
much.
More than interested.
So, okay. So, as you know, within our own universe, there are galaxies that are being infinitely expanded and pushed out upon. And so scientists wanted to try and figure out why within our own universe, what was pushing on them that was making them move apart as quickly as they were, that would allow for the perfect conditions for, stars and planets and things like that. So they started measuring what's called dark energy, which is like energy that is exerting force on gravity and the space in between those things. It's like opposite of gravity, so instead of like holding things down, it like pushes things.
Anti-gravity?
And they went and measured that. What?
I said anti-gravity.
Kind of. They tried to measure that, and what they found out is that within our own universe, the amount of dark energy is a decimal point followed by 122 zeros and then a 1. So it's a very, very small amount of actual energy, way less than they thought there was going to be. And if you change the number of zeros in between that decimal point and the 1, it'll gradually affect the ability for life sustainability. So by decreasing the zeros, the universe would literally collapse in on itself. And by increasing the number of zeros, the universe would expand so rapidly that stars would be unable to form and matter would be unable to take its place and make things like it does. So it's just like the perfect conditions have been created for.
So it's like a card tower. Like with wind, and it's just a card tower, pretty much, with the wind.
Similarly, yeah. It's like, it's just a very exact amount, and we just don't quite understand what that's based off of. So that was one of the craziest things I learned, is that just by changing it by 4 zeros, taking away 4 zeros away, we wouldn't exist.
We can destroy the universe now, guys. Let's get to it.
I think it's a lot harder than that.
Another thing
See, Andrew,
is
you
that-
are a robot. I'm kidding.
Don't start this on the podcast.
About black holes. So some people think that because we can't really study them, so some people think black holes are actually a gateway from one universe to the next.
Yep, wormholes, black holes, all that. I remember
That's
hearing
so
about
cool.
Yeah,
When you think of like the scale of the universe, I did a little like fun little slideshow presentation on this once. It's like blows my mind how big like our universe is, and then the idea that there are more universes out there. Like, whoa, like that's
It's like-
a lot of space to take up.
And
It's
the
like-
longer time goes on, the bigger our universe gets. So it's really hard as time goes on to even be able to fathom traveling outside of it, because it's forever expanding. And so trying to find the technology to beat that and travel outside of our universe is so hard.
Wow. So like what if they develop technology to like, we're going faster, we can go farther, and we like get to the edge of the universe and it's just extending and you're just like in a race with it.
Well, pretty much so far, we have not made it to the end of our universe, and the biggest star we found is like how big is it? I think it's like
The sun. It's
like a million times bigger than our Earth.
Correct, yeah, it's a million times bigger than our Earth. And then think of our
And that's small
just our
compared to
universe.
our universe.
Yeah.
That's smaller compared to our universe.
And
we
then
still
compare it to the
haven't-
galaxy.
And we still haven't even exited our universe yet.
Yeah.
Right, and so there's a lot of space in between each universe, and that space is also forever expanding. So we
So
can't
that
even light from other multiverses because we're so far apart.
Mhm.
So that's why it's hard to prove, because we can't actually go out there and we can't actually see, oh, there's light out there somewhere, or there's space and I can see this other multiverse, because the empty space is just forever growing and it's just really hard to combat like that expansion because it's so rapid.
So
Good
basically,
question.
oh, go ahead.
Okay, so you guys know, everybody knows the movie WALL-E, right?
Okay, yeah, we can just stop there. No, kidding. WALL-E is one of my favorite Disney movies.
Oh, really?
No, it's Pixar.
So, WALL-E is the only one left on this planet, right? That's besides the point. Anyway, so
wow, just
they
ditches that.
so they left the entire planet, entire human race left the planet on this massive space blimp, is what I like to refer to it as. It's just this huge living quarter for everyone. And when they left space, because there's so much trash that they threw out into space, that they couldn't live on the planet anymore. But I'm wondering if those people, because I feel like this is a very human thing that we would be likely to do eventually. What if they threw all that trash into space because they found out, oh, well, our universe is ever expanding, so if we just continuously throw trash out into space, we'll be fine. It'll just go away. But then gravity came into play.
Right.
I feel like, I feel like that, I've never looked into like why WALL-E was made or like how it was made and who thought of it, stuff like that, or why. But that's a very like cool theory, I guess. Like, what if somebody thought of that, like to throw trash in it? Because that was my initial reaction. Like, well, if it's ever expanding and we have so much trash on this planet, why can't we just put our pollutants elsewhere? And I knew that would harm other things, but like if it's expanding,
throw it in the sun.
But I feel like we would just end up like WALL-E.
Actually, like,
honestly,
throw it into the sun.
I don't remember who I was talking about this too, but there is a possibility to get rid of any like nuclear bombs and stuff by sending it towards the sun, because it won't destroy the sun, because everything will melt before it gets to the sun.
Actually, to be honest, it would disintegrate the outside, and then it would heat up the bomb, and it would just blow up.
I don't think it would blow up like as fast as you would think, but I'm wondering if that would speed up the process of our sun like slowly leading up to the point of it going, And
no, just it dying.
Like a billion years. But,
Well,
we're all probably gonna be dead before the million years hits. Just saying. With how much they're killing our planet.
It doesn't occur with the idea that we could get rid of things by putting them into space. It's just like, as we've been talking about, it's like a deck of cards. You just get this random array of, combinations. So that stuff is naturally occurring, like the amount of ozone that's out there and the amount of like this chemical and whatnot. So when we add unnatural, things to that, it could mess up how that functions, and so it could have harmful effects that we can't even fathom.
Yeah.
We're becoming a science podcast.
I'm down.
Well, it's fun to talk about this stuff. And plus, I have a couple more guests that I know. I have a friend who has a whole book on astrophysics. So this is like right up her alley. We might talk about this again with her.
Can we just leave now?
Rude.
No,
absolutely rude.
I enjoy science. Well, I have to enjoy science if I'm going to do my job, but it's very interesting when you consider everything that we could do and everything that we have done. Like she was saying, we don't know the effects it's going to have because, for example, just throw trash in the ocean. We didn't know what was going to happen. We found the consequences later. So this is people's problems. We find a solution for our problems, but we don't research our solution enough to find that we're probably going to make more problems out of that. So that was very complicated, but we make more problems out of our solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when we're putting trash and whatnot out into space, depending on what it is that you're putting out there, if it's just still within our atmosphere, that could disrupt our ability to actually further leave in the future, because we would have a lot of stuff that could trap us,
or the sun getting to us and keep
within our atmosphere. You muted her again.
I know, I'm confused. I swear to you. My mouse has been on exit media. No, it's been right there beside reactions the whole time.
It seems like every time I mute myself, it
Sure,
unmutes,
Andrew.
it, like,
We
says
totally
immediately.
believe you. We totally believe
Well,
you.
actually, I was
Andrew.
about to say look at the footage, but you can't look at the footage because it only shows our faces.
No arms.
Just faces, you know? Just green screen these out. Just everything that's lighter than my face, just green screen it out. This does not exist. Okay, but so we've been talking about this for 30 minutes. We need to talk about Alanga. No, just kidding. So, do you have any more notes you would like to share with us, or do you want to move on to how terrible Dasani water is?
I think we can move on because I don't really want to get into the whole thing. It's really
Okay,
Ooh,
I'm
fun.
super excited for the
We could just
Dasani
have
water
we could
theory.
just have like
I'm
a
excited for this
2-hour
too. I got
premiere.
some notes on the Dasani water.
Can we
Yeah.
just have like a 2-hour thing where we just have people come in and just share their whole entire thoughts? Like Corena, for example, she just reads off all of her notes and we just sit there just like.
Whoa, overthinks life story. Am I really?
Okay, so back to Dasani
Okay,
because that's
so-
very important.
Yeah, so Dasani water theory. For those of you who don't know what Dasani water theory is, here's a short summary. Basically, so Dasani, the water company, if you didn't already know, if you look at the ingredient list on the back, there are some things that are very odd that are put in there, like potassium chloride, which is used on death row to put people into cardiac arrest. So
Dang
of
it!
course, you have to consider the dosage, but
This isn't healthy either.
but yeah, it's just bizarre some of the things that they put in there. And also, if you haven't noticed, when you open a Dasani water bottle, it makes like as if you had opened like a Coke.
Let me go ahead and open a soda. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so I thought Shane Dawson recently released a video on this, and I had on like 3 different theories, but this is one of them. And I was like, wow, that's really sketchy. They also put like
Scary.
multiple different salts in there. I knew they put salt in there, but Tiffany actually told me
Let's
that
be
they
happy
put
Anna's not
multiple
here
different
because I have a
salts.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is the sound a Dasani water bottle makes.
Sorry, there's the glue and crap on it. Okay.
Should you just
Okay.
open? Okay. All right. Wait.
Don't worry about
now
what's
it's
on
gonna.
it.
Okay, this is the bottle that a Dasani water bottle makes.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded okay. Now it's
Alright.
3 Dr. Peppers.
So-
Some people might say that it's like, oh, they're relieving the pressure when you open it, but no other water bottles do that.
Does a
Okay,
pressure washer
so-
sound like that to you?
So I did do a little bit of research, and Dasani water uses tap water to like make, and then they like filter it and stuff. But here are some of the chemicals that are already in tap water.
Disgusting.
Warning, this might make you not want to drink any water, any city water that you get from
I
At
hate
all?
tap water. It's disgusting.
or tap water. But they put chlorine,
Yep.
fluorine compounds. Another word that I am not going to attempt to say what it is,
Put it in
but
the chat. I
they
want to see
call
if I
it
can
the
say it.
okay. But they call it THMs. They put different types of salts, which can have arsenic, radium, aluminum, copper, lead, mercury, cadmium, and barium in it. They put hormones, nitrates, and pesticides. So Dasani water uses tap water from local water supplies, and they put food additives, salt, magnesium sulfite, and potassium chloride.
Magnesium. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah. But potassium chloride was the one that just kind of was like, that's a little odd.
Yeah.
Because that's what's used. Like if somebody is on
I've heard it before. Trihalimitos? No, I can't.
Trihalophane.
I remember hearing the word before, but I can't.
All right, in the comments below, like if you can put like a voice thing over there or put like something and you try saying it, we'd love to hear you try.
Make us not feel so bad about ourselves saying it. Okay, no, now Corena and Savannah, y'all have to try to say the word. Try to say the word.
I'm pretty sure it's That's trihalomethanes.
Yeah, I think it's trihalomethanes. Trihalo. It's like hollow. Trihalomethanes.
Hollow.
Hello. So that's interesting. Okay, so we learned this in the science class, so yeah, fun. But pretty much just to even out, to make sure that the pH isn't off, they go ahead and anyway put chlorine in tap water just to level out the pH. So that's one thing that they don't ask us for permission for. So please don't ever drink tap water again.
Well,
I can't stand it.
The thing with tap water and chlorine, that the chlorine's put in there to kill bacteria and stuff, but like they already put salt in there, and salt is supposed to be used is also something that can be used to kill bacteria and stuff. So why are they putting so much of these extra chemicals in here when we already found a solution to it?
To hide the chemicals.
If you look at so
pH of Dasani water yet?
not really.
I'm gonna go ahead and search that.
Dasani water has a pH level of 6.4, making it one of the most acidic bottles on the market.
6.4.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, okay.
Some people say that when they drink Dasani, it leaves this kind of like, so if you ate something that had a lot of sugar in it, you know how you get that kind of coating all over your mouth, that kind of like, that sugar coating? Some people say that when they drink Dasani water, they feel like this kind of like coating on their mouth. Like they don't feel refreshed. And also there's like a considerable amount of salt in it. And I know from going to basketball games and like football games and stuff like that, if the stadium only sells Coca-Cola products, Dasani water is a Coca-Cola product. So that's the only water that you have availability to unless there's a fountain nearby. So then you're stuck buying that water. And
you just sit there and you're putting yourself in the cycle of buying more and more and more and more bottles of those waters. If it's not refreshing you, you're going back to buy more water.
Yeah, and there's so much salt in it.
So I'm going to burst your bubble, Corena, for a minute. I've seen a lot of people who, and it's just totally different. So the average, so you said it's 6.4, I found the 6.4. It's the levels are from 5.6 to 6.4. I'm seeing them all around that area.
Well, a lower pH is less acidic. Or is it more acidic?
No, it's more acidic. One is the most acidic.
Now, I did see some Dasani water bottle reviews. So, like, people are, like, this is a real thing, like, on YouTube and stuff, of people, like, actually testing the pH. And here's the thing. Depending on where you live, and Dasani water gets it from local tap source waters. So, depending on where you live, it can always be changed. So, I almost 100% believe this, that Dasani will say 6.4 when the average is way less on the scale, and it's way more acidic, but that's like the highest. Yeah.
That's their highest number, so
that's
they're going to pick that.
That's my thing.
At its highest, it's still one of the most acidic on the market, so that doesn't even show for, like, you know, some of its more acidic brands that are being talked about.
100%, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember, I went on Google and just looked up Dasani Theory, and Dasani isn't the only bottled water company. Like, we're talking about Dasani in general, but I know looking at other water bottle companies, they're it may be the worst at it, but there are other brands like Corena and Nestle are about the same, are doing similar things.
Oh, okay. So let's say this. So the value of pH for one is 1 million gastric acid. Let's go see what 5 is. Let's just see that. So 5 is 100 acid. It's 100 acid. 6 is 10.
Like acid molecules? What type? Like
grams.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Or ounces, possibly.
You have acid. You're drinking acid.
Okay, not like the drug acid, but like
No,
citric acid.
No, you're just drinking acid. Now, we're not talking about the acid that will melt your stomach. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, so, if you didn't know, soda has acid in it. Pretty much everything.
When you say acid, you mean
acid.
citric acid.
Citric, which is in oranges, stuff like that.
It's also like, it's made in a powder, and that's typically what you would find in sodas. That's
Carbonated water.
Yeah. They add citric acid in most sodas, and that just kind of like, some people say it makes it taste sweet.
That's confusing.
Like citric acid, like I know it's used to make, it's the stuff that's on the outside of like a Sour Patch Kid. Like it's that sour, like very bitter.
Yeah. But so you have stuff like that, and then you have your I totally forgot. You have your acid in hot peppers. That's what makes them so spicy, and like sort of messes up your stomach and your throat. It's because it burns away at your throat and your stomach. Fun fact. And I still like hot peppers after that.
A lot of stomach pains afterwards, drinking it like in large amounts. They reported that like it causes them a lot of abdominal pain, especially, and that their throat definitely feels it too.
Oh yeah, I know that causes of too much chlorine is like diarrhea, stomach cramps. It does a lot of stuff to your like digestive system and stuff. It ruins it.
Most people, well, some people, I shouldn't say most, I don't really know the statistics, but some people say that like after drinking Dasani for a little while, they start getting these like burps, you know, like that, and people say like they're not like you like drank air as you like drink water, but it's just like
it's like a
real
soda.
burp. Also, if you had 2 glasses and you put like regular water in one, out of mineral bottle, out of tap water, you can like see it. Also, on the side of Dasani like plastic bottles, there's so many bubbles. No matter what thing you put it in, there's like a lot of bubbles in the water, and it's really weird.
Okay, I know this isn't about anything like energy drinks and stuff, but for an example, and like I said, I know this isn't about Monster Energy and stuff. For Monster Energy, it has acid in it, of course. My mom did a test with this, like a live test, and Monster melted, or not, you don't melt. It cleaned off rust. That's how much acid was in it. And that acid is in Dasani. So don't drink Monster, kids.
I feel like it's common for soda too. Doesn't like
it's not as bad with Dr. Pepper or like sodas and stuff, but with energy drinks that have high stuff like carbonated water and stuff, that brings the pH down. Or should be doing this. Brings the pH down. Wait, what? Let me see what the pH of Monster is. That's a good question.
Watch it be like 1.
We'd all be dead.
I also know that like another thing that bottled water has in general is they have a bunch of microplastics in them. So you're drinking plastic, just microscopic plastic.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary. Like,
you want to know what's even more scary?
Takes a long time to decompose, and I doubt it's going to decompose quickly in your body. Your body's not meant to be decomposing plastics. So.
I am going to scare the living crap out of you and y'all will never want to drink energy drinks ever again.
I don't drink
the pH of a common energy drink ranges from 1.5 to 3.3 on the pH scale.
What?
I have proof right here.
I'm glad I don't drink pH.
Oh, it's backwards.
I'm glad I don't drink energy
drinks. You're happy you don't drink pH? You enjoy that you don't drink pH? You have to drink pH, woman.
Wow. That's crazy.
I didn't say I don't drink pH. I'm glad I don't drink energy drinks. Sorry.
You stopped yourself right there.
Quit making me say it, Andrew.
That's like really, I think it's like wild, like how much like stuff people are allowed to put in water and get by with, you know?
Yeah. Government, I thought that was one of your roles, was to help us. That was one of your
what's
responsibilities,
the health
right?
department for? What's the health department? Like, what are they doing? Are they
all
just
supposed to
getting
keep
paid
us
millions
alive?
of dollars to do nothing?
Exactly.
I know Tiffany and I were talking about this earlier, and how having clean water, fresh water, like, is a right that we have.
It's
Like,
a human right.
yeah, a human right.
I think, or at least it should be. If it's not, it should be.
I am very sad right now because I happened to just look at my water. Everything is fine, but it says it has purified water, calcium chloride, and sodium bicarbonate.
Oh, sodium bicarbonate and salt, aka salt, and then what was the other thing?
Calcium chloride.
Oh yeah, because
Calcium.
so
It only has three. It only has three ingredients.
At least
So
it's
I
only
have a
three.
water
And
bottle with
it's
me,
from
actually.
Walmart. It's distributed by Walmart.
Oh, calcium
So there's
chloride.
this Great Value
is-
Purified
This one?
Walmart.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
this one.
Yeah, I have the same one. Anyways, inside it says ingredients: purified water, calcium
same thing.
chloride, and sodium bicarbonate.
Give me a
So
minute.
calcium chloride
Oh,
is ideally what they call salt, along with a chemical formula, CaCi2. It is a white-colored crystalline solid stored at room temperature, and it's highly soluble in water, which I think means it can just like dissolve in water easily.
Actually, you can.
It's very
I
soluble.
don't think you can see it on the camera, but if you were to shake the water bottle as if you were to shake the soda, you get a bunch of these mini bubbles in it, as if it was like soda.
Oh, here's a great question. Is calcium chloride harmful to the human body?
Yes.
It poses some serious health and safety hazards.
Oh, well,
If
that's
in-
great.
Here, it gets better. If ingested, can lead to burns in the mouth, throat, excessive thirst, vomiting, stomach pain, low blood pressure, and even possible several severe health effects.
Well, you want to know what I'm going to say?
Department of Health, why aren't you doing your job?
No, I'm going to say something even worse. So, the people who make this water, right? It says it's purified by reverse osmosis, right? I probably said that wrong. I was like, oh, well, the next thing that it pulls up, it says pH level. I'm like, well, why not? I probably should check that. It tends to be slightly acidic with a pH of 5 to 6. So this water is purified by someone who's given us water that's almost the same acidity as soda.
Wow.
Walmart, what are you doing with your lives?
I don't understand how companies, like feel okay with like putting all these different things in there. Now I understand that it depends on the dosage and everything like that, but it's still.
Listen to me.
It's
Companies
something-
don't care about what they distribute. They care about getting money.
It kind of reminds me also, like, when people asked if, like, fried food, like McDonald's, for example, no, has nothing to do with water, but, like, when people say, is that cancerous, and is it a cause of some of these diseases that are coming around? When they do research this stuff, they're researching it as if you're getting one dosage a day. So say, hey, you drank only one bottled water a day. Because I know with McDonald's,
I drink like 3.
they're researching if you ate one McDonald's meal every day for years and years and years. That's a big difference from eating McDonald's 3 times a day for years and years and years. You're getting 3 times the amount that they originally did the research on. That's what these companies are. They don't do the research on what most people actually do. It's on the ideal.
Dasani, I saw one of their trucks, run around my neighborhood, dropping off those huge jugs of water that people drink out of. And I'm like, if that's the only water that you're drinking in your house, you're getting pure Dasani. And we know what Dasani has in it. So that, blows my mind. And I don't think a lot of people think to look at the ingredients list on their water bottle. Or their water that they're drinking.
Not many people think to look at the ingredients in their food that they eat every day itself. So why would you expect them to look at the ingredients of their water?
I looked it up, and according to FDA regulations, there has to be less than 5 milligrams of potassium chloride per Dasani water bottle. So, assuming that over time you are drinking, like, let's say this is your favorite water, okay? Because like people have like a water brand that they buy a lot, and you buy it in big packages. So I just wonder how much would you have to drink, like how many bottles would you have to drink to meet the equivalent of what they do with lethal injections? Like how much would you have to drink before you max out and it starts to really impact your heart?
So, my mom thought it would be smart to get a jug of water, and I'm happy she did. Partially just because of what it says on the front. I'll introduce that later. But,
There we go. Sorry.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty much this is a jug of alkaline water. Alkaline 88 water. It says right here, it has greater than or equal to 8.8 pH. So that's good. Purified water is enhanced with minerals and electrolytes added for taste. Electrolytes are the only thing keeping this world alive right now. So stuff like smart water. What are some of the waters that that has electrolytes in them? Smart water.
I think life water.
So it has smart water. Does Fiji water have electrolytes in it? I'm sorry, guys. I should have researched this, but I didn't know we were going to go off on a rant like this. The essentials, water. They have packs. They have packs where you can put electrolytes in your water. Coconut water. I'm not surprised about coconut water. Life water.
What's life water?
Just another
if you see it, you'll know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Body Armor Super Water. I've never heard of that.
You're right.
This is what life water is. Has the life WTR. But so yeah. So those are the only waters you can really trust. Is the waters with electrolytes in them. Because that I can't remember. Okay, we'll just cut out everything I just said. But stuff like you don't know what to trust these days. Pretty much, that's what I'm getting at. So, for example, it has minerals in it. Let's drink it.
Minerals. I know that like a lot of spring waters have like minerals in it, and like that's all that's enlisted, minerals.
Yeah. And then you actually look at the ingredients.
But apparently that like a certain amount of minerals like is good for you. That's just what I've read. That's drinking some minerals is good for you, and like we need that. Because think about like our ancestors, like the cavemen, like they went to the river, the stream, got some water, and that was that. Like they're whatever was in it was in it.
They didn't purify the water that they drank. They drank what was there.
You have to think about they didn't have the pesticides and the chemicals that polluted the water naturally, Like some farmer lives at the top of the hill and here's a stream that you're trying to drink out of. The farmer that uses the pesticides and fertilizers washes down the hill into your water stream. So, but I mean, they didn't have to deal with that. So I'm wondering, minerals were obviously good for us, and we're still here today, and we're like 50 times the amount that we're supposed to be in population-wise. So we seem to be doing pretty good, but and all these chemicals.
Like an open-ended kind of just statement, so or more of a question. So do you think like because obviously now we have all of these foods that are more processed than they used to be. There's more in them that we don't know about, and the FDA can say like you can have this much of something in it before you have to legally declare that it's actually in there. So they didn't used to have stuff like that, but because of modern medicine now, our life expectancy is even bigger than it used to be. So do you think that over time we will adapt, like our bodies will adapt to be able to handle these things that are traditionally believed to be so bad for us, or do you think it's eventually just going to start killing us off?
It's gonna start killing us off. My opinion, just my opinion in general, is like
Like then
now
again,
I'm going to get very economic here just for a minute. So me and Corena right now are in civics and economics, so she will probably understand what I'm saying. But economic wise, when you have something like our age expectancy going up, there's eventually going to be a boom where everything is in decline. And I feel like we're building up to that if it's not already here because of what is happening in today's time. But stuff like you were saying, we could go up to a stream and just drink. Now, you don't know what streams to trust because you could go up to a stream and touch it and your hand is burned off with acid because of how acidic it is.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that, we don't know what to trust. But then when you get to thinking about all the economic problems and all this other stuff, everyone's going cheaper, pesticides, crap and all that. So that is sort of happening and sort of destroying today's society and all that. So, but I think it's going to probably kill us off eventually. Sorry to
I
interrupt
think
you.
that if you look at the current situation that we're in, quarantine, for a reason, and I think our Earth was only supposed to house 500 million people. That's like naturally, that's how many people we should have on this Earth. And, we have 7.6 billion counting. So it's come to the point where we're way past where we should be, and we have to have GMOs. We have to have processed foods that don't have all real products because we don't have that available to every single person on this world anymore because we have too many. So I think that I'm not really sure about the water situation. If this is like we don't have enough water, so now we can add these things to it to kind of fill that space. Because I don't really think it fills a space at all.
Or it's just them trying to get cheap water very fast.
That's yeah. But also when we looked at Tiffany and I, we saw that like there's a lot of different kinds of salts in Dasani. So why are they using so many different kinds of salts? And I'm wondering if it's just because they don't have to buy really expensive filters to filter it all out. So they leave in those natural tap water salts that are in there because they don't want to have to remove each individual salt.
Right, it's expensive to actually, desalinate things, because of trying to clean ocean water so that it becomes drinkable because we're depleting our water sources so vastly. We know that it's a very expensive, tedious process, and so I doubt, just based on Coca-Cola's history and how they do their stuff, I doubt that they want to put in the money to do this. And to me, putting the salt in the water to make you more thirsty to want more, to me just seems more like a really just dirty sales tactic.
All right, it's Tiffany. We all interrupted you. So what were we gonna say?
oh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I feel you there. Something else I'm thinking is when you actually consider how much water is not left on the earth, I'm wondering, is Dasani actually, now this is just a total theory, just laying that out there. I am not hinting to anything. This is just my idea of everything. When you think about how much salt is in there and how much they want to sort of I would say, purify it, I wonder if they're getting it from the ocean. Because the only reason you have that much salt in water is either you meant to put it in there just because you wanted to, or like Corena said, dirty sales tactic, or you just get it from the ocean. Those are the only real ways that you can get salt in your water.
I 100% know that it's not because they wanted to add those in there,
Yeah.
because that means that they would spend the money to get all these different kinds of salts. Like
Yeah.
there were over 6 different kinds of salt, all sourced from different areas. So, or not areas, but like different sources.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I don't know if it's necessarily getting it from the ocean or if these rivers and streams are being connected, like major lakes are connected, if they're not man-made, to things like the ocean.
I doubt that it's from the ocean because Dasani in 2004, I think it was, actually admitted that everything in their water was all sourced from tap water. There was nothing special about it. It was just tap water. So I doubt they would admit to that because I mean you could kind of claim that you got it somewhere, like not necessarily an ocean, but like a certain area, and people are gonna be more likely to buy it. Like Voss water, for example, is really popular and it's from Norway, but they
Yeah.
don't really say where in Norway. So they could easily say like it's from some country, but I doubt they would lie about it being tap water, and they could easily market it as like, oh, it's from this far
Yeah.
off lake somewhere, and they don't do that. They admitted to it. So
Yeah, so I guess the ocean runs into it because from here it says the 6 most abundant ions of seawater are chloride, sodium, sulfite, magnesium, calcium, and potassium. And that's pretty much everything you said that was in Dasani.
mhm.
So that's
Obviously,
just my theory, but
so
I'm gonna stick with my theory.
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
that I think that
it's
like
possible, but
I saw like people also ask section on Google, saying like, are you surprised to see things like this? And like you may be surprised to see things like that.
not in
And
today's day.
it says no reason to worry though. And now this site is called Business Insider. Salt and minerals
not a
like
very
these.
reliable
That's
source. Business Insider theory, yeah.
Yeah, they are trace amounts in your water and are very safe. Like I
I
wouldn't.
still have to agree with you about the ocean thing because you can't just drink straight up ocean water. They would have to be mixing it with regular water anyways because ocean water, that's too much where people actually would be consuming less of it because it would kill them. So that's less consumers
I
that
don't
are
know.
regularly buying your stuff. So to me, it doesn't make sense that it would be just pure ocean water because
Well, I never said it's pure
it
ocean water because they have to add something to it, but yeah, I agree with you on that.
So it would have to be mixed with something, or it would
Yeah.
have to come from water.
That makes sense.
I think that it just happens to be in there, and I think maybe participation.
So you just think it's coincidence?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence, but I'm saying that I think it just happened to be in the tap water, and they didn't want to pay to get those extra filters that can handle all those different kinds of salts. Precipitation might have something to do with it, like evaporating ocean water and taking it somewhere else. Maybe.
I
But
think
then
it was intentional.
You think it was
Yeah.
intentional? How do you think that they?
Well, so here's the thing. It's still kind of confusing because there is so many types of salt in there, but I think that it is also likely that they didn't want to pay to have it removed. But I think what they do is they have like obviously the naturally occurring salts from the tap water that they get, and then also maybe some type of pollution, some salination that isn't supposed to be there. And then I think they add in extra salt to make you more thirsty because to me
So you want to
that
get
makes
more?
the most sense. This is a business company. It makes the most sense that they would want to get as many consumer sales as possible.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the most likely thing. But I just wonder why there is so many different types of salt.
That's the question, isn't it?
No, I think I have an answer to that.
Okay,
What
first
if-
no. First let Tiffany share her answer so she doesn't have a biased opinion, Savannah.
All right. Just make sure. What was the question?
So just like why and what do you believe like is the reason why there's so much salt, or so did they put it in there? Did it come from the ocean? Just like why do you think is there so much salt in Dasani water? Or just
I think the reason, like looking at what's already in tap water, I think the reason why there's so much salt in Dasani water is because of the original salt that was in the tap water. I don't I wouldn't first say that they're adding more salt, but similar to the fact that how much salt is already in tap water is why there's so much salt in
So
it.
they're just pretty much lazy.
Yeah.
Or don't want to pay. But
I gotta get up, so
Karina,
I'll be right back. Okay.
so Karina, you said that you think they intentionally put it in there. And you said, but you don't know how or why, like how they would put it in there or how they would get the salt. And I'm wondering that, you say it's a business tactic. And I'm starting to agree with that. But I'm wondering if the reason why that they put all these different kinds of salts within the water is so that it's below the certain amount that they have to enlist all the different kinds of salt. That way they only have to put
this kind or too much of this kind. And also it's not necessarily expensive to produce water with salt in it, and it's not really expensive to gain the salt that is being put in the water. To me, it was just confusing because it's like, oh, well, you have like salt from here and salt from here, but you say your water is sourced from here, so it doesn't add up. But I think that sounds likely like maybe they just buy a lot of different salt in bulk and then they mix it in so that they can get the effect they want without having to worry about regulations imposing on like their ability to actually sell it.
That is fair enough, but I'm still sticking with mine. And also, comment down below what your opinions are and what you think. Because
let us
we
know.
really want to hear your comments. Because there's not been a lot of comments. Come on, comment, please.
Now we have Karina, I'm going to tell you about this one guy. His name is Tom. He gave us 2 amazing comments, and his YouTube channel is like all about like how to grow your own, and it was kind of funny and ironic. So we appreciated him.
Thank you very much. And I bet Tiffany would be thanking you also if she was here. Oh, she's back. Oh, perfect timing. So you back? Okay, well, we were just talking about how wonderful this man Tom was for commenting his beautiful comments.
Oh yes, we love you, Tom. Tom, you're the man. We'd love for more people to comment too, because then you're amazing too.
Yeah.
Any person who comments is amazing, and they're my favorite people on the earth.
Yeah, that's great. So does anyone have any other thoughts? Any other thing they want to talk about, or you want to end it here?
I'm gonna do a little. Okay, yeah, you go, Karina.
I think that if you want to talk more about Marvel, that Anna would be a really good guest because she is obsessed with Nightwing, and so she'd be really, really.
But that's DC, okay? There's difference.
All right, I don't know the difference.
I didn't know either until this year, so.
Well.
Me either. Well, I knew the difference, but yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
and
Andrew.
I'm guessing there's probably going to be an episode come out soon about Marvel versus DC, if we can get that planned out. But before y'all start ranting in the comments, that if anyone does comment, but before any of y'all start ranting that DC is better than Marvel, this is all your opinion, okay? And don't worry about the part about the spin-offs, because I have plenty of spin-offs that I can say DC copied Marvel, Marvel can copy DC, okay?
I think they they're even now.
So I pretty much, this is my thoughts, because we did a little project in our class about whatever we wanted to do. And I did Marvel, and I just said...
Why don't we save it for another video?
Well, no, this is just my thoughts. Someone asked, how do y'all feel about this?
That would be what the video would be about, Andrew.
Give me a minute. No, they said, what are your thoughts on all this spinning off and all that? I just said, I think that they're copying each other and having a mutual agreement that they will not get mad at each other if they just both do it and agree with it. But that's just my opinion. But
2 superpowers, I don't think they're ever going to get along. That's that. It's like Russia and America. There you go.
Russia and America?
But
No,
we just wanted to say thanks. We wanted to say thanks to Corena for being our guest.
Yes,
really
thank
enjoyed
you,
it.
Corena.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. And anyone have anything else to say? Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Please do not watch the news. News is terrible.
Actually, all news, I know, I have to say all news is going to be lying about something, or they're going to take one fact and run wild with it. So watching the news isn't helping you either way, no matter what you're watching.
Hey,
you'll know when it's over. Trust us.
Just let your parents. How about this? Let your parents or let your friends tell you the news. Don't watch the news and make yourself depressed.
Country, Andrew.
Yeah,
Well, you
thanks to
know,
Corena. We really, really appreciate it.
thank
And
you.
now you get the title of being the first guest. That's
How does that
awesome.
make you feel?
Oh,
I
amazing.
didn't. Amazing. Any other emotions running through you right now?
Oh no, that's all.
Oh, so you're not
Just
scared about
amazing.
drinking this? Just, after all the topic we've had and how depressing it all is, just amazing.
That's a good
just
one.
Well, it's
Well,
nice.
see y'all.
I
Go
gotta
ahead.
say, it's nice being able to talk like this and not like being able to talk very intelligent.
Openly.
Yeah, openly and stuff, and to know that the other people that are listening to you aren't like saying they're going to be being very judgmental. We're all here to agree to disagree if we disagree, and
Yeah,
talk
I
it out.
disagree with you. Nightwing is not the best. I'm sorry. No, I'm just joking. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you will, come back next episode and please comment. Just
Please leave a like.
No, don't shoot Ethan, Tiffany. No. But I
No,
hope y'all
this was the
enjoyed.
thing
I'll talk to
Brandon
you
started.
later.
Don't
Bye.
worry.